Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back though. Let's go back. What were you like as a kid? Because I want to get into like how somebody could do what you did. Somebody
Yeah.
that's younger in their shoes say, I want to do what that guy did.
I,
What were you like growing up?
I grew up. I grew up in the woods, and on a fishing pond, and that's really. I grew up loving to fish. That's what my dad actually was I'd call, I guess, a semi-pro bass fisherman. Fished in bass tournaments all over Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, all in that area, and he did really well. I mean, he's actually told me a few stories where he was at a point in life where I've either got to take care of my family or I can go try to be a pro fisherman and see what happens. And he took the safe route. And so our stories do correlate like that because I went the hunting route and I didn't play the safe route. And I just blessed to do what I do. But little Michael grew up fishing, hunting with his grandfathers, his uncles, his cousins. I lived, like I said, at Lake Blackshear. I didn't have a ton of friends because back then nobody wanted to live on a lake because it was 12, 15 miles from town. Everybody wanted to live in town, live in a subdivision in town. So all my friends lived in subdivisions in town. I'm the redneck kid that grew up going, catching bass at home in the pond by the lake in the afternoons and fishing off my grandfather's dock on the weekends and running fence posts and cows and pine trees and everything you stereotype a Southern farmer. We kind of did that growing up. Watermelons, we grew watermelons, and that's probably where a lot of this came from.
Yeah, nice. I get that though, because I grew up in where the houses were close to each other, but my daughters, especially my younger one, she doesn't have a friend around here. We live on our property, a 10-acre property. It's not huge, but 10 acres that's surrounded, 50% of it's surrounded by a river. So we don't have the neighbors that you can walk to. So she's always complaining. My other friends, they might live closer together so they could walk from house to house. So
Yeah.
that's a country kid kind of, dilemma sometimes.
Exactly. And where I lived, I mean, my grandfather owned probably 100 acres right there around us, which was a one big field and some woods. So I grew up playing on four-wheelers, and I did a lot. I did myself. Like I didn't have a lot of close friends, so I couldn't go to somebody's house. And it was an ordeal for, with parents working and doing all that for you to even really hang out with a lot of people. So I didn't have a ton of friends growing up, but as I got older, made more friends, I started playing sports. And that's kind of where, I got into, I was a huge baseball. And I played baseball for years and years and years, all the way into college. And
what position you play?
I played anywhere from, I played right field some, I pitched a lot, and I played first base. That was kind of where I was at.
Did you play in high school?
I did. Yeah.
What was high school like for you? High school life?
As sports or just overall?
Just overall.
Overall, high school was a good time, but it was kind of weird because I really was. Well, first off, growing up as the redheaded kid, I got picked on all the time. Like I was bullied on a daily basis.
You weren't Big Mike back then, where you got picked on?
I was Little Mike back then, but guess what? One day I turned into Big Mike. So as a freshman in high school, I was 6 foot 225.
Right.
So everybody's like, okay, we're going to quit messing with the big redheaded guy now. So, but I mean, high school was kind of where I learned a little bit more about myself. I was super quiet. Everybody that knows me from high school, like, I cannot believe you do what you do. I was like, why? Well, you never talked. Like, you were just because I was an observer for so many years. And I still am to this day. I mean, like I told you before we started, I leave my cards on the table after we get to know each other a little bit. I don't hold back. Because I think I did that for so long. I was like, life's too short. Let's just get this over with and find out if we're going to get along or not. And that's how I treat people. Like I can read people really good for doing what I've done for 17 years, business-wise and everything like that. But at the same time, I think I don't know if it's the astrological stuff, if people believe in that stuff or whatever. But I've always read about a Gemini, because I'm June birthday, that you scope the room, you figure it out, you don't waste time figuring out if you're going to get along with other people. You just, boom, we're either going to jive or we're not. And that's the way I've been. And I get along with most everybody. I mean, I like I said, I'm not afraid to talk now. But high school was me figuring out who the heck I was. And I don't think I really even figured that out even into college. I think that's where I kind of grew into me.
So you're going to college. Are you taking computer classes in college, computer science or whatever it was?
Yep. I started out, as a math major. I don't know why anybody. I appreciate math and I appreciate people that could do high level math, but I don't know why anybody would want to do that. And I decided that's not for me. Then I went into computer science, and me and this class called physics could not get on the same page. I had to have physics for computer science. And after the midterm, I was like, well, there's a roadblock, because it was just, I don't know, if the bells and whistles wouldn't align. So then I said, let me look in this thing. And this was late 90s, so early 2000. And it was the .com was the thing right then, right? Everybody, you had to have a website. And so I made extra money in college building websites. I taught myself Photoshop and I taught myself HTML coding while I was in college. And I said, you know what? This computer information systems is what's up. Because now I can take business classes. I'm taking accounting and finance and economics, and I'm taking Java programming, C++ programming. I've taken all these.